In 2004, German police uncovered a hard drive filled with horrifying photos, and in every single one a man appeared, his face hidden behind a swirling digital mask. No name, no origin, just a haunting signature. They called him Mr. Swirl. The early 2000s were still the Wild West of the internet, unfiltered, unregulated, and dangerously open. In this chaotic digital space, somewhere between underground forums and encrypted chat rooms, a monster walked freely. Not with a gun, not with blood on his hands, but with a smile hidden behind a distorted swirl. In 2004, German authorities were running a routine cybercrime sweep when they came across a single hard drive labeled with nothing but a date, 04/10/04. What was inside would trigger one of the largest manhunts in digital criminal history. Every file, every photo, every single frame had one thing in common: a man with a swirled face, calmly participating in the most unthinkable acts. They didn't know his name. They didn't know where he lived. But they gave him a title the internet would never forget: Mr. Swirl. The hard drive was seized during a raid in Cologne, targeting a ring of dark web distributors. The officer in charge described the moment the drive was opened as the digital equivalent of walking into a locked basement and finding pure evil. There were over 200 photos, and in most of them, graphic and illegal content was clearly visible. But one element stood out. The same man appeared in many of the photos, always there, always calm, but his face, it had been deliberately obscured, not pixelated, not blacked out. Instead, a digital swirl, a kind of motion blur, had been applied in post-processing to hide his identity. The swirl was crude but effective. Even with new forensic software, the face remained unreadable. Interpol was alerted. The FBI got involved, every major cybercrime unit in Europe joined the hunt, and yet the swirl was winning. For months, police and digital analysts attempted to reverse the swirl effect. It became a challenge among cybersecurity experts, coders, even internet vigilantes. Some tried to recreate the swirl to find the pattern. Others claimed the man was actually many men, just edited to look the same. But slowly, a timeline began to form. The images dated back to 1999 and were taken in multiple locations. Some appeared to be in Europe, others in Southeast Asia. The same cheap curtain, the same teddy bear in the corner, and always the same haunting swirl over the man's face. Victim identities were discovered, children mostly from Vietnam and Cambodia. The trail was sickening. And yet, the man behind the swirl remained untouched. Then, an unexpected break came from a schoolteacher in Canada. The schoolteacher, who had seen a blurred version of the images on a news report, wrote to police. She had visited Bangkok in 2002 and remembered staying at a hostel where one of the staff members looked eerily familiar, even with the swirl. She remembered him not for his face, but for a peculiar laugh, and more importantly, a tattoo, a faded red dragon that curled down his right arm. That clue would lead Interpol to cross-check employment and visa records. Within days, a name surfaced: Christopher Paul Neal. A Canadian national, former schoolteacher, worked across Korea, Thailand, and Vietnam, left a string of resignations and transfers. Suddenly, Mr. Swirl had a name. With the help of German engineers, authorities were finally able to reverse the swirl distortion on several digital images. What emerged was unsettling: a pale, balding man in his mid-30s, calm, almost smiling. His expression held no remorse. No urgency, just routine. The image was posted on Interpol's public most wanted list, marking one of the first major digital manhunts of its kind. News outlets lit up, the internet took the story viral, and then just like that, he vanished. Authorities searched airports, tracked digital footprints, monitored international movements. Interpol issued a red notice, a global alert requesting arrest and extradition. For 2 weeks, the trail went cold, then a breakthrough. A Thai police officer recognized the man from the Interpol poster. He had entered Thailand from South Korea using his real passport. The search led to Nakhon Ratchasima, a quiet area northeast of Bangkok. After a 48-hour stakeout, they found him. Sitting alone in an internet cafe, he didn't resist, he didn't flee. He simply looked up and said, "I thought you'd find me sooner." The man, identified as Christopher Paul Neal, was extradited to Thailand, where he faced a series of serious legal charges. The evidence was clear: photos, locations, and identifying features all matched. Perhaps the most unsettling part? He revealed that he had learned to digitally alter his appearance through an online forum, convinced that it gave him anonymity. He described the disguise as a kind of digital mask, a way to hide in plain sight. He even referred to himself as the ghost of the web. In 2008, he was sentenced to over 10 years in a Thai prison. Later, he was extradited to Canada for further legal proceedings. But the digital echo of his crimes still lingers, serving as a chilling reminder of how technology can be misused in the wrong hands. Christopher Paul Neal, Mr. Swirl, believed he could hide behind a blur, that the internet was his cloak. But even digital shadows eventually get exposed. To this day, the swirl effect is studied in forensic tech labs as a symbol of how simple distortion almost beat international law. And while Mr. Swirl is behind bars, experts believe others may have copied his technique. So the next time you see a blurred face online, ask yourself what's really being hidden. If this story chilled you to your core, hit like and subscribe for more. Because the internet holds more monsters than you think, and some still hide in plain sight.